longer expects to be seen. What no one there knew, including her own husband, was that she had once worked closely with the company hosting the gala, that years ago she had been part of projects that helped build the very network he was now trying to impress, that she had stepped away from that world not because she lacked skill, but because she had chosen to support his unstable career when his future was uncertain and hers was just beginning to grow. She had traded her momentum for his stability, and now standing in that ballroom, she realized that he didn't see that sacrifice as partnership. He saw it as convenience. Still, she did not plan anything. She did not confront him. She did not speak to anyone about the insult. She simply stood there, holding her glass, breathing slowly, trying to remain composed, unaware that only minutes later, the attention of the entire room would shift toward her, not because of him, but because of a truth he had never expected to face in public. At the front of the ballroom, the CEO of the hosting company stepped onto the stage and tapped the microphone gently, calling for attention, and as the conversation softened and people turned toward the lights, no one noticed the way her husband straightened his jacket, confident that whatever was about to happen would only further support the image he had been carefully building all evening. He had no idea that his name was not the one about to be called. When the CEO began to speak, his voice calm and confident, thanking partners, investors, and longtime collaborators for their continued trust and shared success, most people listened with polite attention, expecting the usual sequence of acknowledgments, handshakes, and professional gratitude, while her husband adjusted his posture slightly, already preparing his smile, already imagining how he would be perceived when his name eventually came up among those who mattered. But instead of calling executives or department heads, the CEO paused, glanced down at his notes, and said a name that only a few people in the room immediately recognized. Her name. At first she thought she had imagined it, that perhaps the sound of the crowd or the echo in the hall had distorted what she heard. But when the CEO looked directly toward her side of the room and repeated it more clearly, inviting her to come forward, there was no longer